this book's going to be about?
A China girl that
Is learning to read.
that learned how to read when she was 8 years old.
Yeah.
She wants to still be 8? Okay. So you think that this is a happy story about when she was 8, or do you think it's going to be sad?
Half and half, I guess.
Half and half?
Yeah.
Okay.
Half sad, half. That's what I thought.
What about you?
I think it's half and half.
Half and half? You agree? Okay.
What's that for?
What?
That.
It's just a video.
It's for me to take with me.
Oh.
Just ignore it.
Act like it was never there.
Yes. Alright, so while I read, I need you guys to listen very closely. Okay? So I'm gonna read it to you first, and then I'll show you a picture. Okay? So I want you to think about what the pictures are going to be. Alright? But I also want you to think about words that you haven't heard before. So if I say a word that you haven't heard, think about what it might be, what the definition might be, okay, based off of the sentence that I'm reading. Alright?
Okay.
So when I was 8, I knew many things when I was 8. I knew how to keep the sled dogs quiet while Father snuck up on the caribou and to bring the team after a kill. I knew the sun slept in the winter and woke in the summer. And I knew that when the sun warmed the Arctic Ocean, shrugged off its slumbering ice, we would cross it to trade furs with the outsiders.
Dog. Wait, can I see a doggy? Doggy.
What's it look like?
Canada.
Oh, there's a lot of doggies.
Teacher, she made
Arctic-
a poster of Canada.
Arctic dogs.
And there's people. That was really cool with the temperature.
Canada. Okay,
You know what? You're right. This is in Canada. And actually, the girl that the story is about, she's not Chinese, she's Canadian, and she's Indian.
Oh, I thought if she
My
was,
mom was born in India.
Chinese.
Yeah. Okay. Let's listen. But I did not know how to read the outsiders' books. It was not enough to hear them from my older sister, Rosie. I longed to read them for myself. Although I begged like a hungry dog after scraps, Father would not let me go to the outsider school like Rosie. He knew things about the school that I did not, but my name is Ulaman, the stubborn stone that sharpens the half-moon Ulu knife used by our women.
So I guess this is the time where like girls would never to go to school. Like
It's a good
some
thought.
girls because of their dads.
That's a good thought. That's a good thought.
I think so. It's probably
So remember the first page, they talked about the outsider school? So that means that she was not part of them. So it's a whole nother culture, a whole nother group of people.
Well, the group I think it is maybe like the Americans.
It's a good thought. I like that. With her name.
Or like only Canadians, like not two different, like just
Maybe
Canadians.
I would not allow her because there's something wrong with her name that stands out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like some names mean something that's not good.
Okay. You guys are, I love those thoughts. I love those thoughts. Alright. I wore away at him all through the winter. And when the sun woke again, we traveled to trade with the outsiders. He reluctantly left me at their school. A black cloaked nun cut my hair. I felt naked as my braids fell to the floor. Stripped of my warm parka, I was made to wear thin pinafore and scratchy underwear, with stockings too small to stay above my knees.
Wait, so somebody cut her
it
hair?
was a nun.
So a nun cut her hair.
What's a nun?
Wait,
A nun is kind of like a priest.
Yeah.
So, it's basically a girl that I don't know how to explain it.
So a nun is a lady who is part of the Catholic Church. So it's a type of religion.
what type of religion?
Yeah, what's your religion?
Muslim?
Wait, what?
What's a royal achievement?
It is rude, but it's a different culture. So this is part of assimilating. Do you know what assimilating means? So
Yes.
what do you think?
Well, I know the word assimilating.
Assimilating?
Assimilating means like. Assimilating means like a simulation, though.
It's kind of like simulator.
Okay, so assimilating means to make somebody, basically make somebody change their culture and their ways to form a different way of culture. So they're taking her Canadian culture and her Indian culture and changing it to be like the outsiders. So that's what they're doing.
Oh, so she's becoming an outsider.
She is.
I have religion.
Wait, isn't that illegal?
Alright, let's listen. Let's listen. My Inuit name was taken and I was to be called Margret. All I had left was a beautiful book my sister read. Look, monkey. All I had left was a beautiful book my sister read me about a girl named Alice. I hugged it to my chest and tried to be brave like the girl in the story. Every day for weeks we woke very early for chores. Instead of sitting in desks, we scrubbed the floor beneath them. We washed walls and dishes and laundry, and then we went to church and kneeled on our already aching knees to clean our souls. I worked hard, but it brought me no closer to being able to read.
Oh, so she doesn't know how to read. Wow, why do they have to do
So
that?
basically, every girl in the school is a slave.
Not so much, not so much.
So she
Why
has,
do they have
so
to
she
do
has
that?
to go. So she goes to the school and she has to clean up the floor.
Instead of reading, yeah.
Well, that's not fair. That's just rude.
It is, it is. I agree with you 100%.
Just rude. But what
Alright,
are
let's
those
keep
orange
going.
things for?
You keep going, you'll find out. When the first stiff of snow returned and my hopes were nearly dead, the kindly head nun led us to the classroom and told us to be seated. At last, we were going to read. Behind the teacher's desk sat a nun who had cut my hair. I didn't want her for a teacher, but I sat very tall so she would know I was eager. A few older girls raised their hands. So did I. The nun laughed and motioned for me to stand and read. Read? I couldn't even speak English. I scowled at her as the others giggled. Instead of learning to read that day, I spent the rest of class with my nose in the corner and my stockings slouched around my ankles. How do you think she feels?
Sad. In pain.
Can she just walk away and then just?
She's just hurt.
Actually, you can't make fun of someone because you used to been where they were.
Right.
So you technically aren't allowed to make fun of them.
Not feeling
So what do you
safe.
think? How do you think she feels?
Sad because she doesn't know how to read. But they all look the same.
They do.
Wait, let me see.
I have the exact same hair.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's hair.
They all have to have the same hair.
Why
But
do they have to have?
I noticed something about one of the girls. It's the one that's pointing. She's the only one that has a bow in her hair.
Well, the other
She has one.
that girl right there.
Alright. Those are some good observations, but let's keep reading. The nun constantly gave me extra chores as part of my education, she said. But though my muscles ached from the hard work and I could barely keep my eyes open, she could not wear out my determination. I used every task as an opportunity to learn new words. I studied each letter of the alphabet before wiping it from the board. I looked at the labels on cleaning supplies and sounded out the words. I even studied the writing beneath the pictures in the hall.
I guess the nun was right. She was doing her education also when she was supposed to be cleaning.
What?
Hang on, let's listen. These things improved, but improved my reading, but I longed to read an actual book.
So when she was supposed to be cleaning, she snuck into the classroom and did that. So she was pretty good at math,
knows her
but
ABCs.
and her math. Oh wait, no, those are just letters. I thought that was math.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
Listen. One evening, I hurried through my supper of cabbage soup, planning a hasty escape. I couldn't wait anymore. I dashed into the hall, but the nun was waiting for me. Not so fast, Margret. There are pots that need to be scrubbed, she said in a threatening tone, and marched me to the kitchen. With my arms in scalding water up to my elbows, I couldn't hold back my frustration. I could be reading, I muttered. What? The nun demanded, her shoes cracking as she crossed the kitchen. She pinned me against the sink slowly, a smile spread across her thin lips. Fetch me a cabbage from the basement, she ordered.
Is she mad?
Can I see the nun?
Yeah, can I?
Can't she just talk back?
Why does the nun look like that? Why?
Because it's part of her religion.
Nuns aren't allowed to demand you to do something. Parents can't.
Let's listen. I heard stories of children who disappeared down in that dark cavern. I descended each step deliberately, hiding my fear. My hands quickly found a cabbage in the shadows, and I scurried up the stairs. But she slammed the door, shutting out all the light.
Why would she do that? Is she trying to kill her?
I think so, yeah.
Push down the door.
She is.
And
It's an
she
evil
could
nun.
die.
One at a time, one at a time.
She
It's
could
an evil.
die down there.
It's an evil nun.
Yeah.
Yes.
She can't technically die because they have cabbage down there. So she can
Just cabbages.
What about thirst?
You're right.
Just cabbages.
Have no water.
But there's no light. And you also need water.
Wish for what you wish whenever.
Be careful what you wish for.
survive without water for 3 days.
This is kind of be careful what you wish for. So like she wished to go to school, but that's what she got.
Alright, let's listen what happens. I pulled the handle. It was locked. A scream built in my chest, but I held it in. I closed my eyes, pulled up my stockings, and breathed deeply until I could feel my father's presence. He wrapped his arms around me in the darkness, and I spelled out my Inuit name to him, whispering, O-L-E-M-A-U-N. His proud smile made me stronger, so I worked through the name of my distant home, B-A-N-K-S-I-S-L-A-N-D.
What?
I spelled many things from home, and I was starting on the title of the book, A-L-L-I. When the door opened, I squeezed past the nun and returned to the sink. Her angry black eyes raised goosebumps on the back of my shaved neck, but she could not make me cry.
Wait, I'm gonna try to read all the words.
Banks is land.
Almond.
Wait,
So it's island.
Banks
You're close.
Island.
Banks Island. That's good. That's good.
Wow, that's her name right there.
This is her name up top.
Why did the nun just
This is the Holy Nun.
So that's her dad right there. That looks so creepy.
Where?
Up in the corner.
Oh, I didn't see the face.
I thought she was also doing math. I thought she was doing math on her own.
Kind of looks like the nun.
Maybe. Alright. When I returned to the dorm room that night, all the girls were giddy. Everyone had beautiful new dark stockings. I pulled off my old ones, took my place in front of the nun, held out my hands, and closed my eyes. The nun crackled loudly as she handed my pair to me. Laughter instantly filled the room. "They're red," I stammered in disbelief. Only circus clowns wore red stockings. I ran to my bed and opened my book. I stared at the letters holding back my tears. Until those letters became words which grew into a familiar story, I could almost hear my sister's voice reading about the cruel queen, and I let the story carry me far away from the laughter. So how do you think she feels now?
She's like, no. She's like sad or mad.
She's like, I don't know.
She looks sad.
Well,
I'll
remember
start
at the
helping her.
beginning of it, she said that all the girls got new stockings and they had dark stockings. So now everybody has dark stockings and she's got red ones.
Oh, maybe she's a little
So they're
important.
calling her a circus clown. That's probably what they're trying to do.
But like she
And
said,
soon they might put a.
Let's let Keely talk.
Well, she probably wants to try to be like everyone else.
Yeah.
Try to get along and actually make some friends.
Well, I think that she feels uncomfortable because all of the girls that are there are wearing dark stockings and she's the only one that doesn't have dark stockings.
wait,
She wears white stockings, but the nun tried to give her red stockings.
Can I say something? So they're trying to make her a circus clown is what I think. So like soon they're gonna put white makeup on her face and then put a clown nose and then the suit and then do all that.
she's like she said, the nuns can't make her cry.
Alright. The next morning, don't peek. The next morning, I crept quietly to breakfast, but an older girl saw me and called out, "Fatty legs," as bits of food fell from her mouth. "Fatty face," I shouted back. "F-A-T-T," the nun swooped in. "If you cannot get along with the others, you can tend to the laundry," she hissed. Let's listen. I entered the laundry room and stood beside the large vat with a fire crackling beneath it. And then the idea came to me. I knew what to do with my stockings. What do you think she's gonna do?
Burn them.
What do you
She's
think?
gonna probably like take one of the kids' shoes off, take the black socks, put the red socks.
You already said.
And put the red socks on someone else.
Okay.
I
What do
think I
you?
know.
You already said. What do you think?
She's probably gonna probably put her socks in the washing machine and probably find some black ones in there. If there's not black ones, you could probably put white ones and put some black clothes in there, and it'll probably make the ones black.
That's a good idea. What do you think she's gonna do?
I think she's just gonna rip them off.
You think she's gonna rip them up? All right. Let's see. I burned them to ashes. I felt like Alice after a bite of the magic cake, as large as the entire room. So you're right, Oliver. She did burn them. There she is. So how do you think she feels now?
She feels like evil.
Evil? What do you think, Elise?
I feel like
Sit down.
So at the
Oliver.
beginning she was nice and kind, and now she's getting all of everything the mean people are saying. It's making her want to be more mean because she just keeps on getting bullied.
Yeah. But she's smiling. So how do you think she feels after she burned her stockings?
Happy that she maybe could find some black stockings somewhere.
Maybe.
But that girl, she isn't wearing black stockings.
She's wearing white ones, you're right. What do you think? How does she feel, Wyatt?
I think she feels kind of happy, and also I just wanted to say on that page, why were they even making fun of her?
Yeah. Because she has different color stockings.
Just because you wear different clothes from someone else doesn't mean you have to make fun of them.
But are they all matching? Does everybody have the same hair and the same dress and the same undershirt and the same shoes?
Yes.
So if everybody has the same thing and she's got different stockings, that might make
She's
her
wearing white socks.
right. But everybody has the same. All the girls in the school are wearing the exact same. But the nun gave Margret different color stockings.
And now she's wearing
And she has to use them.
Now she's wearing no stockings.
She doesn't have to.
So Oliver, what do you think? How does she feel now, based off of what we just read and this picture?
A little bit evil and happy.
Okay. Alright, well, let's see what happens. When the nun saw my bare legs, she exploded. Margret, put on your stocking, she demanded. I set my jaw and crossed my arms. I can't. Why not? I just can't. Her face grew very red, and she ordered everyone to search the room like the Queen's henchmen in my book. They scurried around, upturning everything. Books were torn from shelves and blankets from beds. No one was calling me fatty legs now. And no amount of searching could ever bring those stockings back. So there they are. All the girls are looking.
Well, at least she got rid of them.
She did, because she burned them, remember?
Yeah,
So
and
they're
now
gone.
they can't come back to life, so she doesn't have to wear them.
Yeah.
I think
What if they just remake them? Like,
I think they just want. I think the girl that burnt her stockings. I think she just wants to be unique.
You think she wants to be unique? That's good.
she wants to be like them.
No.
But she can't because they're being mean.
Alright, let's see. The nun snarled. Let's listen. Let's listen. The nun snarled when I was allowed another pair. In my new thick gray stockings, I felt victorious. But when I strode into class the next day, the nun slammed a book on my desk. It was a green reader, like the other girls used. Page 34, she said. So now she has her green reader.
I think I know why
What do you
everything is green. Maybe because the nun's favorite color is green, because they wear a green dress and get green books.
It's like a thought.
Is that
And maybe she feels jealous, the nun, just a bit.
You think the nun feels jealous? Why do you think the nun feels jealous?
Well, because the color green stands for jealous, I guess.
Okay.
It does?
No, green
Yeah.
stands for
What were you saying, Keely?
green.
I forgot what I was going to say.
For red stands for
That's okay.
Red
Alright.
stands for mad, blue stands for sad, and yellow stands for forgot.
Scared.
yeah, but green stands for
Alright, let's listen. She wanted to cut me down to size. I opened the book, nervousness swelling in my throat. I looked at the words and began slowly twisting my tongue around the consonants and forming my mouth around the vowels. By the second paragraph, I confidently sliced through the words without a single moment of hesitation. There was no stopping me. So what's she doing?
I think she learned how to sound out the words and actually read.
Yeah?
That
She
girl
probably-
or a boy?
The nun is a
I
girl.
just remembered.
All nuns are girls.
What about
Yeah, that's a
what about the students? Are any boys? Or is this an only girls school?
This is an only girls' school.
Is there an only boys school then?
There might be.
No, I forgot.
So the nun actually wrote the ABCs on the book.
Yeah.
Wait, she probably is like taking all the letters. She's thinking in her mind all the letters, taking the letters, sounding them out. She's taking the word, sounding it out, and then she takes all the letters that makes the word, and she puts them in order.
That's a good thought. What do you think, Keely?
I think the nun only doesn't like the girl that burnt her stockings because she kept on changing her stockings and she didn't. I think the nun doesn't like her because she didn't know how to read and she just had to have extra help, but the nun didn't give that.
Okay. That's a good thought.
I have something. Wait, did I already share on this page?
You did already share, but that's okay if you want to share again.
Maybe like she's likes the other kid, but she doesn't like her. The
That's
other.
what I just said.
She probably doesn't like her because she's a new kid and she's regular with all the other kids. So she's like, she doesn't care about the new kid.
Maybe it's because of the
Swallow,
name.
what do you think?
I think she's like kind and sweet, but the other girls are mean. So it looks like she likes mean kids, not nice and sweet kids. So she didn't like how she was nice and sweet. When she was gonna grab her something, she was being mean to her. So she's trying to show that this is a mean school, not a nice and sweet school.
I think that she doesn't like her very much because she wants to read so badly. So instead of focusing on doing the laundry and washing the pots and pans and doing the different dishes, I think that she wants to read.
I think like all the kids have to do chores, but the girl that's reading it, I think she has to do the most chores
You think so?
of everyone.
All right, let's see what happens then.
If I was her, I'll just beat her up.
I don't think she could do that. All right. When I finished, I looked up, but the nun was facing the blackboard. Sit down, Margaret, she said. I felt a great happiness inside that dared not to show. I quietly took my seat. I was Ulaman, conqueror of evil, reader of books. I was a girl who traveled to a strange and faraway land to stand against a tyrant like Alice. And like Alice, I was brave, clever, and as unyielding as a strong stone that sharpens an ula. I finally knew this, like I knew many things, because now I could read. So there she is. So now she could read.
Can she?
Let Keely talk.
I think right
Wait,
now
what?
she's older,
What?
and I think that's why the book's called When I Was 8. I think all this happened when she was 8.
That's a good thought. That's a good thought. What do you think, Swallow?
I think that she feels more braver because now she can read in front of the class, because the girls were making fun of her because she didn't know how to read. So now she knows how to read, so now she can read like maybe a whole chapter and show them that she knows how to read better than them.
That's good. That's good. What do you think, Wyatt?
I think that why the name of the book is When I Was 8. Is that the name?
Mhm.
That I kind of agree with Keely, but also that when she was 8, probably by the time she turned 9, everybody stopped because she said most of the time she said the older kids sometimes, and that I kept on thinking maybe all of the kids are older than her and she's the only 8-year-old, and maybe some of them are 10 and 9.
I think that, so like, it says conqueror of evil, and on the page that I said she was a bit evil. She actually is evil.
Do you think she's evil?
How?
Or do you think she conquered evil? What do you think that means?
Conquer evil means it means that she like stopped everybody from being mean to each other and to her.
Okay, what do you think, Eli?
And also
Conquer
women.
kind of means stop. Like stopped everything from being evil. Like you can't do that anymore. You can't do that. That's mean. That's rude. Not kind. So
Okay, what do you think?
I think conqueror means, so like, she takes up all the evil and like just takes it away from them. So like she scares them and then makes them just be nice to everyone,
Okay,
and especially nice to her,
that's some nice thoughts. What
and
do you
make
think?
them not mean and nice.
Okay. What do you think, Paul? What do you think conqueror means?
I don't know what that means, but maybe she can use the words against the nun.
That's a good thought. That's a good thought.